Okay dah, kita dah record dah. Okay dah.
Muhammad Irfan, Muhammad Saidi, and I'm gonna present my previous project.
Okay.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Muhammad Irfan bin Muhammad Saidi, and I'm gonna present my previous project, which is individual mobile studio pod. So the main purpose of this project is to heighten the awareness of students about human body, interaction of space and body, and explore the role of reasoning and logic in shaping the form. So this will be done through a confined space, which we call individual design studio pod for 24-hour use. So this limited space really challenging for me to consider the anthropometry and ergonomic body dimension, body movement, and human behavior and user need. So through this design a limited space, I will explore about a role of function and objective parameter in this design process, and also 3D thinking, looking from different angle, applying different type of drawing like section, elevation, and also perspective view. So for based on the brief, some objective that I will get through this project, which is the first one is to further the student concern about elementary user need. The second one is to introduce and create an awareness of scale and proportion of human body. Next is to introduce the role of human behavior in shaping the space. And the last one is to explore how human anthropometry ergonomic relating to spaces. And some requirement that we have to done, which the dimension of our studio pod is 2.1 meter times 1.5 meter, and the height of the studio pod is 1.8 meter.
Isa, cuba buka auto subtitle.
Okay, for my concept, I choose muraqabah, which means mindfulness. So how can we have more control over our thought in this time of information overload and anxiety? Exercising mindfulness or muraqabah can help discipline our mind
Oh, tak ada
in order to handle
Tak ada.
the current situation and focus on our connection with Allah. Modern life involves a daily bustle of noise, distraction, and information overload. Our senses are constantly stimulated from every direction to the point that a simple moment of quiet stillness seems impossible for some of us. This continuous agitation hinder us from getting the most out of each moment, subtracting from the quality of our prayer and our ability to remember Allah. So we all know that we need more present in prayer, more control our wandering mind and desire. But what exactly can we do to achieve this? So how can we become more mindful in all aspects of our life, spiritual and temporal? That is where the practice of exercising mindfulness in Islamic context of muraqabah that can help our mind to become more disciplined and can thereby enhance our regular worship daily activities. So mindfulness linguistically is defined as the quality of our state of being conscious of aware of something, and more specifically mental state a mental state achieved by focusing one's awareness on the present moment while calmly acknowledging and accepting one feeling, thought, and bodily sensation used as a therapeutic technique. So that's for my concept, which is muraqabah. When I sit on the design studio part, I can fully mindfulness my mind, so I can maximize my work progress to 100%. So the work will be more efficient to me. And move to my ideation, which I choose a cave for my ideation. That's the ideation is inspired by my Nakli study, which is the relation between Surah Al-Arad and the first revelation of our Prophet Muhammad. When our Prophet go to Gua Hira to meditate himself. Okay, for my Nakli study, I choose Surah Al-Arad verse 28. الذين آمنوا وتطمئن قلوبهم بذكر الله إلا بذكر الله تطمئن القلوب, which mean those who believe and whose heart find satisfaction in remembrance of Allah, for without doubt in remembrance of Allah do heart find satisfaction. In relation, I can relate it with the first revelation which I told earlier, about our Prophet Muhammad went to Gua Hira, which Gua Hira is placed at Jabal al-Hira, or it's a mountain which lie about 2 miles from the Kaabah, and near the top of a small cave known as the Cave of Hira. It was here that the Prophet Muhammad received the first revelation, which is Surah Al-Alaq, Iqra, of the Holy Quran during the month of Ramadan. So the Prophet first began to have revelation in the form of good dream, which came true. There he began, he like solitude. He would go to Cave of Hira and meditate there in solitude for a number of days and nights. So I can relate with my design part, which I told earlier I want to make a cave as my ideation, which when we sat on the studio part, we can remember of Allah and fully meditate without being disturbed when we want to make a job. So move to my design process, which is I derive a cave droplet to a sequence and added some texture to make it more feel more real and good. And my last design process, which I make it arrangement to make it more neat and tidy. Okay, for the next part is about material selection, the color that I use, and some mechanism that I put in my design studio part. First of all, about material. So the material that I use is compressed wood. So it is compressed wood durable for my design part. So the durability of compressed wood can vary depending on the type and how it used. Particle board is commonly used in furniture due to the lightweight and low cost, but resulting furniture should not be expected to last for generation like all the natural wood furniture. So some of advantage that I can list from the compressed wood is, the first one is compressed wood is a low cost. So the best advantage of compressed wood is low price than the other wood item. The second one is the lightweight. The second one is compressed wood is lightweight. So the third one is about the maintenance. The user can clean and compress wood easily, and the maintenance is more easier and low. The fourth one, easy to handle. It has a lightweight property due to which it can be easily handled and transported. So it will more suitable for our mobile studio pod. And the last one is perfection. It's perfect for building furniture because it is more durable and long last. For my color scheme that I use, I use color of brown and terracotta to mimic the cave that I choose from the ideation. And the last one is about my mechanism that I put. So there is 3 mechanisms that I use in pod, which is the first one is about the storage, that we have our issue to put our tool, where we can put our tool, because we don't have our own personal storage. So one of mechanism that I use in my design studio pod, which is the storage to store a tool or books, so it will be more clean and neat. And the second mechanism that I put in my design studio pod, which is the small table for this is this small table, and it can be open up like this, open and close down. So it's for opening too, where we can walk in and out from here. And the function of small table is for our crit session with our lecturer, so it will be more personal, face to face. And also it can be used for our laptop table, but the size is more suitable than we having a problem in our, it's not a problem, but it not in ergonomic way, where we use our laptop on drafting table and it not suitable. So the last mechanism that I put in my design studio pod, which is personal bench that I put on the back side of the pod here. It can be used for our personal space and it fully privacy. So you can do your activity without being disturbed by your friend outside. So it will be more privacy. Okay, next, move to my drawing, which I put on the board. I have put insert some drawing, which include personal perspective view, isonometry, 1 point perspective, section for XX and section for YY, the front elevation, the rear elevation, left elevation, right elevation, and also ground floor plan. And this is my final model, which I have created based on what I have explored and experiment in my concept, Nakli, issue, ideation, and also design process. So this is my final model. Okay, that's all from me. Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe Arsalan Studio.
I think he did great.
Okay. Masing-masing sila bagi komen. Aku mulakan dengan aku dulu lah. First sekali, cuba pergi ke minit 342. Isak 342. Nampak tak cim bantu repair? Warna biru aku suka. Tu yang besar. Lepas tu cara penyampaian repair tu macam aku tengah tengok lecturer tau. Dengan baju kemeja, wish mantap lah. Aku pun pakai antara yang paling banyak-banyak kan. Nampak repair paling smart lah. Memang dia macam prepare lah dengan dia punya baju. Tapi aku paling suka tengok dia punya pantulan dekat si mata tu. Aku tak tahulah apa yang membantu. Apa yang membantu kan. Tapi memang mantap lah. Itu juga dari aku. Yang lain?
Ipe macam well prepared lah untuk presentation ni. And dia macam dia siap screen, pakai baju, rambut sisik kemas. Lepas tu setiap apa yang dia cakap memang betul lah. Step by step lah apa yang kita ajar untuk design.
Betul-betul. Lagi-lagi? Ipe?
For me, the transition of the concept nuclear addition and all is great, but the communication skill is still lack.
Okay lah Ipe.
It is still macam menggagap-gagap sikit.
Oh. tapi orang still faham lah you gagap pun. Tapi bagi aku kau tak banyak gagap je sebab ujung-ujung je kau. Pertengahan tu okey je. Lagi Nisa?
Saya rasa the presenter is look very nice. The content of the presentation pun boleh senang dipahami dan understandable. Dan saya suka tengok, tak bosan. Okay.
Tak bosan ni Nisa. Dia tadi dia tengok bila nak habis. Alia.
Saya pun rasa okey lah sebab macam dia juga tunjuk apa, dia close zoom in, bukan zoom in lah, macam dia letak gambar dia punya model tu dekat video, so clear lah, lebih clear lah, so orang pun boleh faham lah apa yang dia cakap.
Yang dia letak gambar tu sesuai dengan apa yang dia cakap. Betul-betul. So semua dah kan? Okay, ni dah okay. Dah settle lah.
Thank you for the comment.
Tak apa tu, sekarang ni nak stop record ke ataupun terus je?
Buat dua video.
Dua video. Okay je. Kalau macam tu terus lah. Lagi satu video, lepas tu kita stop record, lepas tu kita record balik. Okay. Second.
Okay, dah habis.
Boleh buka WhatsApp. Sekejap
Lepas ni siapa? Lepas Ipe?
Hi guys.
Anis.
Hai.
Sekejap. Nampak tak?
Nampak.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I hope you guys have a nice day to break through today. So my name is Anisha Amira binti Maisa, metric number 1201069. I'm going to present to you today about my final project last semester, semester 1, about the studio part. This is an individual mobile design studio part with 9 weeks for its duration for this project will take on. So first of all, what is a studio part? A studio part is a freestanding, flexible room that easily adapt and move to suit you yourself, your space, your people. It must accommodate different zones of activity suitable for the space, such as socializing, focus on what you are doing, collaboration and catch-ups. Do you know that studies shows that open plan offices can distract staff. How can it be possible? You know, office noise can lead to loss of productivity and a reduction in workplace satisfaction. Relating this situation with my current situation during the class, sometimes even movements of people surrounds me can easily make me distracted. That easily distracted. Well, that's how me myself. How about you? Well, sometimes it's not a bad idea to go around to have a goofy talk with my friends, but it is good to have a place where I can continue to on focus on what I was doing, such as drafting or drawing or maybe making a model. So basically, the aim of this project is for us, me, first year student, to explore more about the human body. How is the interaction of space and body? Explore the logic in shaping form. When designing, I need to consider the anthropometry and ergonomics, the how much the body dimensions, how the body movements, human behaviors, and user needs. I need to know what is my body dimension so that I can I can sit, I can do whatever I want fitly into my design board. So I need also to consider my friends maximum body dimension, so they can also enter my studio board to socializing, to have a brief talk and have a conversation um, during the studio classes. It is important to consider all the comfort working conditions, which that will include the lighting, storage, health, and social distancing, but will not disrupt the interaction between the lecturer and friends with me. You know, when we want to conversation, it is good to have social distancing, but also I don't want to make it a limit for me and other friends and also for the lecturers to have a good conversation between us. And it is also important for me to have a nature vibes with its fresh smell during drafting or do some works to give the calming vibes. So moving on to my board. So my concept that I choose to be on my design is hideout. So back again to the definition, what it means to hideout. So literally, hideout means a hiding place, a space place for a hideaway or as a retreat from other people. It can also give the meaning for a shelter, which means a place giving temporary protection from bad weather or danger. By means for me, as long as it can hide me away from other people's sights, so that I can comfortably do my works in comfortable space. It's not that other people is a bad thing or danger for me, but sometimes when you are doing your work, I feel like as insecurities that people will judge what I'm doing. So that's why I choose hideout, so that I can hide comfortably do my works without people judging. I think that people judge me what I'm doing. Moving on to my nightly study. عن إمران ابن مسلم أن عمر ابن الخطاب رضي الله عنه قال: تعلموا العلم وعلموه الناس، وتعلموا له الوقر والسكينة، وتواضعوا لمن يعلمكم عند العلم، وتواضعوا لمن يعلمه العلم، ولا تكونوا جبابرة العلماء، ولا يكونوا humility for those who teach you, humility for those whom you teach. Do not be tyrannically scholars, and thus base your knowledge upon your ignorance. Hadith Sahih al-Bahiki. To summarize this hadith, it is, we need to learn knowledge for peace and tranquility, and be humble for those who you learn from and for those who learn from you. So I want to highlight the peace and tranquility, which indeed plays one of the key points in learning knowledge. Simple meaning of it is calm and serenity. The affiliation lies between the use of light, open spaces, and the use of natural materials. Light is often the key element in creating a sense of calm and free thought. So basically, to combine with the higher concept, to put the tranquility, I think that biophilic design can help with that. Back again, what it means by the biophilic design. Biophilic comes from the biophilia, which means the urge to affiliate with other forms of life, have an innate love of nature, or the fondness of it. Biophilic design can increase occupant connectivity to the natural environment through the use of the direct nature, indirect nature, and space and place condition. It was regularly accessible to the people in the space, and users of a building spend time more in the interior than the exterior. I kind of love this kind of a design because of it can trigger a strong positive impact on our health and well-being. I should consider the water, the airflow, because it can help with the natural ambience. The buildings incorporate things like natural lighting and ventilation, natural landscape. Basically, biophilic design generally organizes into three, which is in space, the direct nature, which refer to the plants, light, water, and that relates to the green elements, physically and momentary presence of nature in space. The example of the direct nature, which includes potted plants, aquariums, bird feeders, and green walls. Second, of space, inspired by the space spatial configuration in nature which relates to space arrangements. Third, the indirect nature, which use naturally inspired patterns and shapes with non-natural materials or any materials that have been altered, such as images of nature, the sounds and smells that lead to multisensory of human, which is the sights, smell, taste, touch, and hear. Basically, it was organic, non-living and indirect evocations of nature. The objects, materials, color, shapes, sequences found in nature manifest as artwork, furniture, decorations, and textiles. So, to summarize my design, I will say that I want to design a hideout which indeed has its own space for learning and drafting, in accordance with the learning environment that requires tranquility to release stress, but the ideation of biophilic design decorates the studio part. So moving on to my design process, it is quite simple because I choose a circle shape, because when in a circular shape, you can see all of the things that you want, where you want to put the things, where you want to reach out for the things that you want to use at the moment. So that's why circle shape is my choice at my first design process. And then to consider the drafting table, which the drafting table will have a big dimension. I will consume a lot of space in my studio part, so that and the drafting table also in a rectangular shape, and I think it will leave a wasted space, since the basic set that I want to make is a circle. So that's why I choose one side that can fit the drafting table perfectly, rectangularly at one side. So that's why there's one side that will be flat facade, and the other will be the oval shape. So I think that's all for my design process. Moving on for the ground floor plan. As you can see, there's the living walls on the right side, because the other side is the entrance of my studio part. The The entrance will be a sliding door, which the benefit for a sliding door will be it will save the space so that it will not consume space for its opening. So the living walls, I also don't put it only on the interior, but because I don't want it is not only affected in the interior but also for its exterior. So there is living walls also in the exterior at the back of the studio board. For the plants mechanism, so for the water system, it is getting well used to have a self-watering for indoor plants, and I want to make a good use of it because since it will give much benefits for me since I'm not gonna be at the studio board daily. So that's why I choose self-watering so that the plants will have the water supply when they need the water even I'm not at the studio part. So there will be a small water container below the soil and plants in the planter box. That's where the plants will have the water supply for the photosynthesis. Moving on to the axonometric. So this is the axonometric drawing for the 1 by 1 to 20 scale. There will be a vein in a leaf pattern which is called the venation pattern on the right side, which is on the back of the planter box in the interior, which is the venation pattern. The monocots have parallel venation. In reticulated venation, the veins are arranged in a net-like pattern in that they are all interconnected like a strands of a net. So I want to integrate it with the biophilic design. So biophilic design of the indirect nature that make use of the non-natural materials. So materials to be shaped to have a pattern like a natural pattern. So moving on for the elevations. So as you can see the elevations. So eventually I did correction on the board also, which is the sections not included on the board, but I didn't make it to make a picture of it, so it's kind of shame to not show the latest board in this presentation, but I hope I can do well in the future so that everybody can see what the progress of my design. So for the last one is for the materials. For the materials, I will use full lip of a plywood. All of the studio pot will use a plywood because of plywood is the one of the material from nature that through minimal processing reflect the local ecology or geology and create a distinct sense of place, so that you can touch the plywood and you can feel its natural materials, so that you can have the natural feeling that will integrate with the living walls on my interior walls. Second, for the sliding door, the sliding door is not fully solid because I will put the translucent paper so that when the lights going through the translucent paper, it will not really bright for other people outside. It will just perfectly luminous the space. So the last one is the part where I make the model. So this is the final model of my design. As you can see, there is the axonal view. Okay, this one is from the entrance, and this one is the axonal view from the right. To show the venation pattern, and also for this one is the left view where the sliding door with the translucent paper or glass, and this one is the right view where the venation pattern is for the articulation, and you can see there. And also for the front view, this is front view, it looks like a little bit plain. And also I put a more about the venation pattern. And also this one is the rear view, where the other of the living walls that we implemented on the facade. So next is this is the view when you enter the studio part from the entrance for the interior. So the table is actually can folded, and also when you want to use, you can open up the timber, so then you can expand your table and you can use for a big dimension of a full dimension of the drafting table. So yeah, there is the living wall, and also at the below for the on the drafting table level, I put by myself. I can reach out easily. I will not to rise up from the chair to reach out for my things. So the last one is from the above view, so you can see the arrangement, and you can see the space arrangement of my arrangement for. So I think that's all for me. So last but not least, I want to take this chance to say thank you for for the lecturers from the last semester to guide me and also support and give the motivation, and also for the commands that they want me to improve more and more, so that I can give the best final design. So I hope that I will take as much as I can, so that I can improve myself to create a better design, a better drawing, and also a better flow, and also better flow of the board. Give me a lot of comments, and yes. So I think that's all for me. Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye-bye. Mantap lah ni. Okay. So siapa nak mula komen dulu?
Kau dulu Irfan, kau dulu.
Okay. So bagi aku, gaya dia punya presentation tu santai habis. It's not too strict. Lepas tu cara penyampaian dia pun faham lah, maksudnya dia ada feeling, dia ada gelak-gelak kan. So then words yang dia guna pun words BI yang diguna pun macam mantap, dan dia punya penyampaian tersusun lah. Comel je tiba. Okay. Yang lain. Yang lain.
Aku lah. Bagi aku cara penyampaian yang bagus lah. Maksudnya macam khas untuk macam ya kita ODL macam tak mudah bosan tapi cara penyampaian dia riang, ceria, so macam kita pun tertarik lah. Lepas tu cakap-cakap tadi ayat-ayat yang digunakan semua mudah faham lah. So macam kita tak adalah cari apa benda ayat dia guni. So design apa yang dia nak buat, konteks apa yang dia nak sampaikan dalam design dia tu kita faham. So macam tadi dia nak cerita pasal dia tak ada punya apa tu pokok dia dalam tumbuhan dia. Lepas tu dia cerita pasal konsep dia hide out sebab apa. Ada tadi. Lepas tu dia baca hadis tu dengan dia kalah sikit Arab sikit kan. Macam Arabia share sikit.
Macam hebat lah, macam hebat.
Macam hebat sikit. Okay, itu je daripada aku.
Okay. Elaine, Ipe ke?
Okay, for me, the appearance is good. macam pemakaian dia okay, and the voice and sound is clear and friendly and easy to understand the words. Next, for the concept of hideout is great to apply in studio part, means because we macam serabut sangat dengan kerja. Jadi kalau hideout tu benda yang baik lah untuk kita nak releasekan stres ke semua. Elaboration pun okay, jelas, and the element to put the green ball in studio part is great, but for me the drawing of elevation is quite not proper lah kot. Boleh ke buka elevation, drawing elevation tu. There is a plan on the middle of the drawing board and it's macam disturb sikit. Macam dia tak fokuskan elevation.
Patutnya
And
setiap tu dia kena ada ukuran kan? Even dia punya tumbuhan yang diletak susun-susun tu pun.
No. I mean the big leaf there, the middle of the board. That's not suitable lah.
No, faham.
That's not emphasize the elevation.
Betul-betul.
That's all from me.
Okay. Betul. Lagi? Nisa?
I like Anis punya appearance is very attract me lah untuk tengok dia present, very cute. Lepas tu dia punya konsep on hideout pun okay, sebab kalau kita buat kerja pun kita tak nak orang tengok kita sangat pun kan, nanti kita rasa triggered. Lepas tu kan, lepas tu dia punya sound projection dia pun very clear, very jelas. Dia buat kita rasa nak tengok dia. Macam tu lah. Saya suka dia punya idea, ada pokok inside dia punya part. Dia perlukan pokok untuk hidup.
Perlukan pokok untuk hidup Betul-betul. Boleh.
Tambah?
Sila.
For the final design tu macam lacking of idea. Sebab macam tak menggambarkan sangat hideout. Macam the element is only the green wall.
Betul.
Tu je.
Mungkin final product tu dia tak nampakkan sangat konsep dia kat mana hideout tu. Kan? Sebab dia lebih fokus dekat green wall.
Macam nampak dia tengah buat pasal pokok lah, tak nampak macam pasal hideout.
Betul-betul.
Macam play with pokok lah, play with that.
Alia?
First nak cakap dia comel. Lepas tu itulah intonation dia. Dia punya cara penyampaian tu nice je lah, faham. Saya suka idea pokok dia tu lah juga, dengan self-watering semua tu lah. Tu je kot.
Okay. So kesimpulannya cara penyampaian dia bagus lah. And juga well prepared lah. Macam Ipe tadi. Well prepared. Okay. So aku stop record Sekarang aku stop record. Lepas tu nanti buka lagi satu, kita record balik. Aku tak tahu kalau aku stop record ni apa jadi. Sekejap.